Hey guys, welcome back to another movie commentary. So, I just recently watched a Christmas movie, and that's called Let It Snow. And since it's like 10 days from Christmas, why not talk about a Christmas movie? So, yeah, I recently just watched Let It Snow, which is based on a John Green novel, and it was bad. Alright, but let's just get into it, alright? So without further ado, let's start talking about this movie. So Let It Snow is a Christmas romantic comedy, quote unquote, with three different storylines. One of them is about this girl, and her mom is like dying of cancer, or she's super sick. It never really addresses what sickness she has. I'm just assuming she has cancer. So she's all pissed off and she's all rebellious, and she meets the guy who voices Miles Morales in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. She meets that guy. He's like a super famous pop star. They hang out, they fall in love, they fight a little bit. That happens. And then we have this guy named I don't even know his name. I think his name's Topher, and he's been in love with his friend who's a girl. She's the girl from The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and he's been in love with her for like 10 years. And then she just met this new guy who's like a super famous jock and everything. So there's a love triangle between them, since the guy, he can't confess his feelings towards his best friend because they've been friends for like 10 years. So that happens. And then there's this other girl who works at the Waffle House in their town area, place, village thing, whatever. And she is out as gay and a lesbian. And she's in love with this cheerleader who is not out as gay or lesbian yet. So they have to like kind of hide their relationship from the cheerleader's popular friends. So yeah, that's basically it. But either way, all of the three storylines, they all connect in this kind of weird way that was kind of weird in the beginning. Like, in the first half hour of the movie, the rebellious girl with the sick mom, she meets she meets Miles Morales guy. She meets the Miles Morales guy, and they bump into each other on the train, and they have this weird moment where she's trying to return his phone to him, and then like 5 minutes later they're just out in the woods, they're walking and they're talking, and they spill out their whole life stories to each other. And yeah, I'll just roll the clip for that right here. And then after that happens, we get introduced to like another storyline, which is the guy whose name is Topher, I think. And he's been in love with Chilling Adventures of Sabrina girl for like 10 years. And she's very much like a tomboy, and she kind of knows what she wants, but she's kind of oblivious to the fact that Topher, the guy, is in love with her, even though it's very obvious. And she meets this new guy who is like a guy in college, and he invites her to a party, and she goes. Topher doesn't go because he's not cool enough. But before that, they have to get like a keg of beer for the party. So they steal a keg of beer from these street thugs, and then there's a whole car chase scene that happens between those three. I'm not trying to remember what happens in the movie because honestly, it's a very forgettable movie. But yeah, they steal a keg of beer, and then Topher, the main guy, he has like a really old car, so the car breaks down. And yeah, I'll just roll the clip right there. And then the third storyline is the Waffle House girl. She has a best friend who is so paranoid that her boyfriend's been avoiding her texts all day and her calls all day, and her Instagram messages all day and her Snapchat messages all day, and she thinks that he's gonna break up with her just because he's hanging out with one of her other friends. So she's all paranoid, so she has to like realize that like life isn't all in technology, if you know what I mean. So she kind of treats her best friend who works at the Waffle House like crap, and yeah, and then the Waffle House girl, she's struggling with coming to terms with, does the cheerleader who's not out as lesbian yet, does she like me, or was it just like a one-sided love thing? And yeah, that's basically the whole movie, if you really think about it. That's basically like the whole movie. And then the guy Ned from Spider-Man pops in, because he works at the Waffle House with the Waffle House girl. He works at the Waffle House with the Waffle House girl who likes the cheerleader. And he works there, and he's been wanting to throw this party for a very long time because his parents are out of town, and he couldn't throw the party because his parents came back, so he couldn't throw the party. So he's trying to get his boss's permission to throw the party at the Waffle House. Spoiler alert, it ends up happening. The party ends up happening. So let's just go deeper into the stories now. Alright? We're going to go into it story by story. So we're going to go into the sick mom, rebellious girl meets the pop star story first, okay? We're going to do that story first. With the sick mom, rebellious girl, pop star Miles Morales storyline. So just before we start, I decided I'm not gonna insert any clips into this commentary just because I don't want to, because I don't feel like editing this even more. I just wanted to film it today and get it uploaded today. So I'm not gonna insert any clips just because I'm lazy and it's a lot of work. So I'm just gonna be talking about it. So with the pop star and rebellious girl story, they meet on like the train or the bus or whatever, and pop star guy, he drops his phone, and sick mom rebellious girl, she has to give his phone back to him. So she does that, but then the train stops and they fall onto each other, so they just laugh, and it's like a very weird romantic moment, even though they don't even know each other, but that happens. And then she gets off the train, and then he follows her because he wants to talk to her because he's found her so interesting, even though they met like 2 minutes ago. And that's when they introduce each other's names. I think their names are Julie and Stuart, so we got names already. And then she's about to be hit by a car, and he saves her from being hit by a car, and she goes, "Oh my god, you just saved my life." So she takes him sledding, because since he's a pop star, he doesn't get to do all of these like normal human things, like regular things. He just has to go on tour and record music and do all this fun stuff. Like, I get it. I get what you're trying to do, Netflix. You're trying to make the pop star seem like he can't have a normal life, which, I mean, he technically can. He would just have to quit the music business. And would he quit it for this one girl who got accepted into Columbia University, but she doesn't know she should tell her mom, because who's going to take care of her mom if her mom dies? Or if she gets even more sick, who's going to do that? So should she tell her mom that she got into Columbia, or should she just keep it a secret? She keeps it a secret throughout most of the movie. And yeah, she keeps it a secret throughout most of the movie. The mom encourages her to go, and yeah, that's basically it. And then they continue to hang out, and then they just develop a romance from there. The second story with Topher and the tomboy girl and the jock, he's Topher, he's like the tomboy girl for like 10 years. They both kind of know that they like each other, but they're not gonna admit it. So tomboy girl, she invites Topher to go to this like curling match. It's like that thing that they do in the Olympics with like the brooms and everything. So they go and do that, and that's where they meet the jock. Now the jock is like a super famous jock. I don't know his name because it's so forgettable. But they have fun and it's super fun. And then they go to a party because Ned from Spider-Man, he calls Topher saying that the party is on, it's a go, so they have to steal a keg. They steal a keg from like these two bank robbers, it looks like. And then they get chased by these two bank robbers in a car, so they have to like there has to be a chase scene with two cars, and then Topher's car breaks down and it's a snowstorm, so they have to go and hide inside a church. And then Topher and the tomboy girl, they start to sing, and there's a connection. And then the jock, he doesn't really like the tomboy girl. He's just very like there. He's just like in the background trying to be supportive for both of them, because he actually really likes Topher, the main guy. He's actually like starting to become friends with him. So I really like that. But then Topher gets all jealous because the tomboy girl, she's starting to hang out with the jock, and he goes, oh well, why don't you go out with him? And she goes, maybe I will. So then her and the jock, they go to the party, and Topher waits for a tow truck person to come and fix his car because his car broke down when they were being chased by the bank robbers, and that's why they had to hide in the church. And yeah, it's actually pretty funny because when they're in the church, when he's all by himself and he's all alone, Topher gets asked by this woman, she goes, are you like part of this play that we're doing in the church? And he goes, yeah, I am. And then Julie and Stuart, the pop star and the rebellious girl who has a sick mom, they go and see the show, and Topher's in the show at the church, and they go and see it with the sick girl's mom. And yeah, so that's like that's the weird way that all these stories connect. It's very confusing. It's only like an hour and a half movie, but I enjoyed myself, alright? And then the last story is probably one of the better stories in the whole movie, and I'm gonna like rank how I felt about the three individual stories like after I'm done talking about the movie. So the third story is the Waffle House Girl. The Waffle House Girl, she is out and she's a lesbian, and she's a very proud lesbian. She's very proud and she's very open and happy about it. And she has this best friend. Her best friend's super paranoid about her boyfriend not answering her text messages or her phone calls or her Snapchat messages or anything. So she's scared that he's gonna break up with her. So she's so focused on her phone and technology and everything that her best friend, she's trying to talk to her about this amazing night that she had with this girl, and they just talked for hours on end, and they just talked about Harry Potter and all this fun stuff. And she's a cheerleader at their high school, and the cheerleader girl and her friends, they come into the Waffle House, and that's where the girl works, and they have breakfast. And then the girl who works at the Waffle House, she kind of embarrasses herself by making like this Harry Potter waffle and this butterbeer milkshake for the cheerleader girl, and the cheerleader girl is not into it. She's like, what are you doing? It's like that kind of weird thing. But they go into the bathroom because the Waffle House Girl wants to talk to the cheerleader, and then the cheerleader all of a sudden kisses her, and she goes, that was the best night I've ever had, just talking with you. And she goes, but I'm not out to my friends yet, so just give me some time, I'll tell them soon. And then she goes, okay, I'll accept that. And the girl, the best friend of the Waffle House Girl, she is picked up by the tow truck lady who goes to fix Topher's car. And she basically throws her phone out the window and says there are more important things than being on technology. She goes, yeah, but like what? And then she goes, looking out for your friends a good thing. And she goes, but I have been. She knows like how I've been struggling all day with seeing if my boyfriend's gonna break up with me or not. And there's this thing about this pig where the girl that's so obsessed with her boyfriend and her phone, and the Waffle House girl, they have this like pig thing. So to make it up to her, the obsessed boyfriend girl, who's also obsessed with her phone, she goes and she gets the Waffle House girl like an actual pet baby pig, and it's super cute actually. I actually really like that scene. And yeah, that's basically what happens. And then the cheerleader, she comes out to her friends, and her and the Waffle House girl like kiss and they end up together, and it's great. And then back to the sick mom, rebellious girl, pop star story. So rebellious girl tells her sick mom that she got into Columbia University. She tells her that you should go, and her and Stuart, they have to say goodbye at this point because he's been missing all day and he's had one day of normalcy, and he actually felt like a real person for once. So they hug and they say goodbye, and he leaves for like 10 minutes. And then her and the mom, they have this heart-to-heart conversation talking about if you love someone, you should tell them that you love them. And she said, you should go to Columbia, I'll be fine. Your father can take care of me and your grandparents can take care of me, I'll be fine. So the party at the Waffle House ends up happening, and Julie, she ends up going because her mom makes her, and Stuart's there. All of a sudden the song plays, his most famous song plays, the one that's just recently released, and the song plays and he shows up, and they say all this cheesy stuff to each other, and then they kiss, and then they end up together in the end. And then at the roof of the Waffle House, Topher, he still has the keg and everything, so he gets like, he doesn't get jumped, he just gets freaked out by the two robbers because they caught up with him, and they actually turned out to be pretty cool people. So they say party, and then they bring in the keg and everything, and they have fun because they're actually cool guys. They're not like mean robbers or anything like we thought they would have been. But yeah, and then tomboy girl, she comes back and she goes, I've been in love with you for like 10 years. And then he goes, I've been in love with you too, I want to be with you for the rest of my life and everything. Which is actually a pretty bold move because, you know, say I want to be with you for the rest of my life, but whatever. And they kiss and they end up together and everything. And then I think that's it. And then you just have like this montage of the three main couples dancing and everyone having fun and everything. And if we're being honest, that's basically Let It Snow, like, in a nutshell. I know I didn't really explain it all that well because at this point of the time I'm filming it, at the time I'm filming this, I've seen it like 2 weeks ago, and I kind of forgot all of it, but I gave you my best description and overall feelings of it. Overall, the movie is a cliche Christmas romantic comedy, kind of teen dramedy movie where there's some drama, but it's not super serious. But overall, I enjoyed it. If I had to give it a rating out of 5, probably like a 3.5. Like a 3.5 for like out of 5. Like 3.5 out of 5 is like my rating. And then probably my favorite story, I don't really have a favorite story. I think my favorite story personally is the one with the sick mom and the pop star. I really like that story, and then coming in at a close second is the one with the Waffle House girl and the cheerleader, and then at the very bottom is the one with Topher and the tomboy girl who he's been in love with for like 10 years. So yeah, those are my rankings of the Let It Snow stories. And overall, the movie's good. It's a Netflix original, so you can watch it at whatever time you want. It came out at a really bad time though. You would expect it to come out in like December. It didn't come out in December. It came out in like November. It came out like at the beginning of November. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, overall I enjoyed it. And if they do a sequel, which they probably won't, but I think they should, I'd watch it. Overall, the acting was good. It was fine. And it was a cute story, and I really enjoyed it. So overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As you guys know, you guys know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you guys enjoyed this commentary, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and everything. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.